Okay guys, another video from me. I know it's been a while. If you've watched my previous video and saw the description, which you probably haven't, I'm working on something and it's a very long video, but please don't set your expectations high. I'm pretty sure it's going to be cringe, but what's new? So why not? I just thought to just cook something up this evening. I might upload this on the 3rd instead of the 29th, which is the current date recording this video, because I will be busy on the 3rd, and the 3rd is a very special day, as you future homers may know. And for that, since to celebrate the special occasion in advance, I'm gonna try and play a song on the guitar. It's a ukulele song I've learned, but I don't know. I think the chords are the same, so I might give it a shot. It was A. I think it was G. Okay, I think I got it. Let's do this. So this video, as although I am recording a very upbeat song in a way, the theme is pretty sad. It's about, I can't speak while playing. What if I just keep playing A? So tonight's video, I'm going to be talking about, this is completely impromptu. I don't have a script, my laptop is off, and it's going to be about my biggest regret in life so far. And I've uploaded my second biggest regret in my life, and I intentionally named it the second biggest regret of my life. Thus far, as of recording this video, I haven't committed any major crimes or have done anything that I know would change the course of human history. Like, I haven't done anything to that large of a magnitude that it would burden me for the rest of my life. Like, it would be in my conscience 24/7. But yeah, before we get into that, I'm going to try and nail this song terribly, which doesn't make sense because you can't nail a song terribly. So rusty, like literally, like the strings are rusty. I don't like this strumming. Better in ukulele. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. I don't know the part this of the song I can sing. Did I get that correctly? Because I actually have no idea. I miss my ukulele. I'm not a fan of a guitar. I'm just joking. I love guitar, but no. Let's start with the actual video, because I miss recording these videos. It's been a while. I have no script. I'm gonna wing it. And obviously, future homer, as you're watching this, probably a year from now, 6 months from now, as you know, our greatest regret so far was hurting the person that mattered so much to us and still does so much. Wait, is that a grammatically correct sentence? Around October 22nd, 2023 last year, I made a series of tweets regarding my current stance on the possibility of me getting into a relationship. Here is what I said, quote unquote, my case still stays the same, though even with all that convincing and input. Like putting it into this analogy, and this is one of those first times where I've used it in real life, and I thought it would be cringe, but at that time, the boys actually found it pretty, well, it hit them hard in the chest, guys. And here's what I said. As of now, I believe I'm better off appreciating beautiful flowers from afar than picking them off. This is not new. You've probably heard a variation of this somewhere. From a more personal level, I said the following words. that I didn't know I was capable of saying out loud. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to hurt myself. And most definitely, or most importantly, I hate to bear the thought of me hurting someone I genuinely fell in love with. Boom! There's your answer within 4 minutes. One of the many reasons I was hesitant of going out with someone, usually the common issue with this especially today, among today's young generation, including me, is that they think they're not fitting of love. They think they're not worthy of it. They think they want it, but they know they can't. That's the same for everybody. It's either you're afraid of loving someone or you're afraid of being loved. That's the sad reality of today. We can't really do anything about it. I thought that by being able to finally accept that I am a lovable person, that I have worth, that I can actually do something, it's basically I'm not a nobody, because that's the theme of my entire life leading up to that point. I will go through that, but that mindset was probably drilled into my mind a majority of my teenage life. Again, the grave mistake here was I forgot the second part, which would be the afraid of loving somebody else part. I was so afraid of being loved, and I got rid of that fear. I dealt with that issue of mine, fortunately, at the time. So I thought, okay, perhaps I can give it a shot. Like, that was one of the major obstacles that I was able to put out of the way, which led me to my decision to actually pull the trigger on this. As I say here, I was finally able to drop one of what I thought to be the edgiest lines I kept in my bag. But somehow it landed perfectly, and it hit the bro so hard in the chest. When I really like someone, the first thought that comes into my mind is that I should spare this girl, this innocent girl who's living a peaceful life and minding her own business, from myself. This complicated blob of whatever the heck. I don't want to self-deprecate anymore because I know it's not healthy. Remember when I said one of the logical arguments by the logical side or the logical faction of the Homer to get me into this stupid, okay, I could still consider it to be stupid, the stupid concept called relationship, is that Homer, you would be able to test your emotional maturity, your emotional intelligence, your patience, how well you could apply stoicism, how healthy your mindset is, dealing with problems, anger, all that stuff. To summarize, towards the end of our stint, I practically violated all that. Which, looking back now, I am not going to cringe, because this is what most people feel when they scroll back and read back through how desperate they were. I don't feel cringe, perhaps a little bit of disappointment, but what I feel is pity. Not because of how, I think I mentioned this in the 3 months video, the chunk of messages that I was sending in comparison or relatively to how she was replying. It's not that part. It's the way I was handling things from a broader perspective. I should have been patient. I should have just waited things out. I should have, as a yapper, I should learn how to keep my words short by saying more, by saying less. When I could have made it clear what I wanted, what's the problem, how could we deal with it, stop compromising. I can yap all day about resolve commitment, but what's ironic is that I cannot pull my shit together and commit to what I actually want. Because I was basically trying to balance myself on the fence. Because I do not want to risk the chance of falling onto one side and staying there forever, because I fear that I won't be able to get back to the other side. I threw away one of the most, I do not want to advertise myself here and sound like an arrogant douchebag, my perspective and outlooks and my philosophies in life. I'm pretty sure she's made that clear at one point, and a lot of people have made that clear. The way I see the world, as edgy as it may sound, may be a little twisted. I think the appropriate term would be distorted. It's not your usual. I took that unique and, let's just say, interesting and profound side of my personality, crumpled it because I thought it wasn't working, and just threw it out the bin, and I ended up being whatever that was. I just took wise Homer, philosophical Homer, the exercise Homer who keeps screaming at me when I want to give up during workouts, even the stoic Homer, like the patient Homer. I just took 4 of them, tied them up, and told them, hey, This is clearly not working. I'm just gonna give it to these guys who completely have no idea what they're doing as well. Let's see how they do, you know. Let's be pessimistic. Let's show her the real us. Let's show her how twisted we are. Let's show her how negative our thoughts actually are. But for me to completely miss the point or miss the fact that one of the primary reasons why she liked me in the first place was how, I don't even know if positive was the right word, but how interesting, even though as twisted this is. I was trying to act like a prideful, oh, actually I can be serious. Actually, I'm so self-aware. By doing so, I just ended up like my, for one, I don't know, I haven't mentioned this on my channel yet. This is one of my biggest traumas. I basically ended up like my dad. I looked up to him in certain aspects, but this side of him, which I exhibited, and that, whatever that was, it just disappoints me because I practically became the person I was trying to not become. Is that correct? I was about to say I became the very thing I swore to destroy, but it's not like I have a vendetta against my dad or anything like that, because I do not definitely want to not destroy him. In an effort to try and not be him, I ended up being more like him. The one thing I hate about my dad, he blames my mom for cheating and shit. Okay? That is purely messed up. I'm not gonna go into that. And to some extent, I kind of did the same towards the end. I know, I am aware that it is a sort of manipulation tactic, and I was aware that it is. Okay? Basically, I thought I moved on from that. The reason why our bond grew stronger towards the end was that our mask, or at least most of our mask of manipulators, or whatever edgy term you might want to call it, and with us being truly authentic and genuine with each other, with our personalities in ourselves, and for us to click anyways, we felt true to ourselves. That is when we actually connected the most. Like, we actually felt like, yeah, it was fun. I want to sum this up in a way that I was trying to employ manipulation. I know it's negative, but the way I justified it at the time was, this was manipulation for a good cause. Like, it's a small price to pay. To pay was dependent upon whether or not it would be successful. And if it fails, it's a huge price to pay. Basically, I played the gambling game. To sum it up, became like my dad. I became like a complete asshole like him. I employed manipulation tactics because I was going back to my old logical, oh, I'm a Koji, or again, in layman's terms, oh, I'm a mastermind, I am 10 steps ahead, Homer or something. I know I'm getting rid of that. It's not healthy, and it's terrible, it's not attractive at all, and it's not great. And fourth of all, I've said some hurtful things because of that intent of manipulating for the better good, or what you think is better for them, which is completely wrong in the first place. It's not great, it's not cool. Take note of that, Homer. And fifth, I practically lost my test, or my challenge of the whole test your patience, test your emotional maturity, test your emotional intelligence, because I was completely being childish. Not childish in a sense where I was not facing reality and arguing like a, you know, like a dick or whatever, but I was there, but the way I was handling things, it wasn't as great as an adult would have handled it. I know that somebody like grade 11 and perhaps even grade 10 Homer would have handled that situation far better than whatever the heck I did during June and July. I don't know what happened. I think I combusted. I think my well, I didn't say Mao. Wouldn't necessarily say patience. Not patience towards the person, but the patience towards my method. Because I knew it was working. Like, it was great, but it doesn't mean it's gonna work out well. It's gonna work out well for the both of us, but that wouldn't necessarily mean for the both of us together. That's what I initially thought, and I wasn't seeing results. So I changed up my strat and went for brute forcing and trying to go for this reverse psychology, oh, I'm so self-aware type of approach, and leading her to certain answers I want her to conclude on her own, even though I was guiding her towards the direction. I know it's completely messed up, and I still regret it, and it would be one of my biggest regrets for a while. Like, I'll give it 5 years if I don't kill anybody in the next 5 years, because I hope I won't. This is not a jinx video, please. Guys, it's me 3 AM Homer, and I'm editing the video, and I just wanted to add something. This is pretty crucial, and I want future Homer to take note of this very much. And that would be this weird thing I do. I think I started doing this from a very young age, where I try to win someone's empathy and pity by talking down on myself. That's one of my fallbacks that I rely on whenever things go south, or when somebody doesn't see me the way they used to see me. It was pretty effective, but that doesn't make it right, and I very much regret it. And I'm about to fall asleep. I feel like a lot of people do that nowadays, whether consciously or unconsciously, trying to win someone's empathy by trying to belittle yourself, and you try to seek their validation because you want them to say certain things about you. And one way of doing that is trying to kick yourself down to the ground, hoping that they would pick you up. It's pretty disappointing. So yeah, guys, just wanted to add that. I guess that's it. I don't want to hurt people, but this is life, so I knew at some point that would happen. But what hurts me the most is that this is someone I genuinely fell in love with, and I hurt them. And I hurt them without me knowing, because I thought it was love. And if I were to sum up this video and conclude it, because it's so long now and it's so lengthy, my love is suffocating. And I don't say that with the intent of deprecation whatsoever. That is pure judgment of myself, like objective observation. That's it. My love is suffocating, and I need to fix that. I was able to set aside the obstacle of me being not lovable. I set that negative mindset aside, but I completely missed the other side, like the second part of it, which would be if you were prepared to love somebody. And we have different interpretations of love, and the way I expressed it, although it was, to be honest, it wasn't bad in certain aspects. I think overall it was pretty patient. It was kind. I know I'm biased, but hey, that's one thing for me to just, to be positive about. But there are caveats. Said it herself that it was suffocating, and I have to take note of that, and I did take note of that, and I'm still taking note of it. I just want to appreciate flowers from afar, but what I completely missed was that, what if I was a garden? Like, I was the garden, and I was visited by like a bee or a butterfly. Like, I made a poem one time for her, like she was a butterfly or something, or a bee, I'm not really sure. Let's just say she wandered in my garden, found it interesting, found it beautiful somehow, even as twisted as it was or is. There was an invisible gas that just suffocates its visitors, and I don't know, perhaps I'm just not cut out for this love thing. I know it's unhealthy, I know it's pretty negative, but we can't lie. Like Homer, it's the truth. You've loved somebody so much, you've hurt them. And I'm gonna end the video with that. You've loved somebody so much that you've hurt them. Remember that. And remember that well. So yeah, that's it.